Namaste. And my name is Bettina Frolic. Frolic will mean happy. And I discovered India in 2009. My specialization in business is fine watchmaking and anti-aging. And I'm the host of today's conference. So as I know, you all come from different states of India and very renewed schools. So I will ask you to put just in the chat from where you come from. I will introduce you with all our amazing speakers this morning. Could you just, Moshmi, could you just go ahead with the slides? So first of all, I will perhaps just, could you just go back to the, okay, just two words to the webinar agenda. So first of all, we will introduce our amazing speakers this morning who are here. So thank you for coming. We are really happy to have you with us. And then Anish Singh will do a presentation of the club, that you know a little bit more what's happened next. And then Natalie Bader, Marta Marcheva, and Stanislas de Quercize will do their presentation, which will be absolutely amazing. So I'm sure that you will enjoy. And later on, we will have a Q&A session. So I will invite you from right now to put your questions in English in the Q&A area where you could, where we could later on have a look on your questions, and we will answer you as soon as possible. So we are really happy to have this morning with us Stanislas de Quercize. What I've seen that Stanislas has, or what people say about him, is he has the dream CV. Quite amazing. And he's very well known as a human-centered manager. So this is quite amazing. And as you see on the slide, he has so huge career at most of the biggest groups in luxury, Richemont. So we will see later on what he will tell you about circular economy and a lot of win points, which you will learn a lot from his amazing experience. And then we have Natalie Bader. She has an amazing knowledge in several luxury sectors. And he specialized in re-enchanting brands. Her mission was always to re-raise their level of desirability. And she's also a very important person at a cosmetic executive women association, where you probably know. So as you could see, she worked for the most prestigious brands in absolutely 4 sectors: in cosmetics, fashion, jewelry, and hospitality. So you will see that a huge knowledge will help you also to increase your brand. And then we have Marta Marcheva. I don't know if I speak it really well, her name, but she's at the moment the executive director of Sup de Luxe. What's Sup de Luxe? Sup de Luxe was founded by Alain Dominique Perrin in collaboration with Cartier, a friend of Stanislas, by the way. And it was at the beginning this school to train future luxury leaders of tomorrow. So as you could see, she has a background in academic and professional experience. So what she will let you know later on will be absolutely helpful for your, if you want to go to India and if you come to France. So now I have the amazing Anish Singh. He is so a nice person, and also we are so lucky that we could collaborate with him and that he is the president of our club, which is which has so many new future projects. And I put you just through and let you know a little bit more about the Club Anish. Do you want to present us a little bit more?
Thanks a lot, Bettina. Thanks for helping me out throughout this whole project of making bridge between France and India. Not only in France, but whole Europe as a whole. So thanks, Bettina. So welcome everyone. It's a pleasure to have people like bringing great people from India, from France, from Germany, from USA, from Italy, from Switzerland together on a great project of building bridge between luxury sector, craftsmanship sector, and we have a great pleasure to have people from the best schools, many professionals who has a great experience in luxury craftsmanship sector also. Just to sum up, with us we have participants from ESSEC, Sup de Luxe. Thanks a lot to Luxury Connect Business School also from India, ISC, HEC, IFAP, Indian Hospitality School, REN Business School, and we have participants from most of the NIFT, like NIFT Chennai, NIFT Hyderabad, NIFT Jodhpur, Srinagar, National Institute of Design Guwahati. So thanks a lot to be part of this great initiative. So, so what is Bhartiya Paris Club? So Bhartiya Paris Club, it starts with my story. So I was raised in India. I'm from India. I was raised in India till the age of 21, and I'm in France since 11 years. So I was thinking, it was my duty to make a bridge between these two great cultures and beautiful countries. So I came up after working 1 year and a half on the thesis on how to on the Indian luxury market. I came up to realize that India was going to become interest for the luxury companies from France, Italy, and Switzerland. And but the knowledge of the Indian market was still not there in Europe. It was in 2023, and since then, it has become one of the most important subject for luxury companies in Europe. So I have created a club with two objectives. So on the French side, it's mostly to help the brands to understand India. We know that since thousands of years, India is a country of strong craftsmanship and know-how. So they've been even inspiring the most powerful and well-known brands from France or Italy or Switzerland, as we have Stanislas here. We know the story of all the Maharajas and craftsmanship of India, which influence even the work of Cartier. We know the stories of Maharaja of Patiala with his big necklace, and now we know that India was the biggest consumer of luxury in the history, and now we are looking to have the what we can say is democratization of luxury. So on in France, we are the first club, and we are the leading club who are working on the Indian market. We have members from almost all the brands. We have people from Hermes, Chanel, De Beers, Louis Vuitton, and after we are making connection even between all the leading luxury and fashion schools. So ESSEC, HSA, Sup de Luxe, 𝐤𝐬𝐭𝐞𝐞𝐦𝐿, IFAP. We have many students, ex-students, whom we bring together, so we can create collaboration among all of them. We are also building a lot of networking and relationship with Asia Society, with other associations who are in Paris, who work for India and France. In France, we are mostly focused on developing the knowledge of Indian market. So we work a lot on market studies and bringing experts together, so we can develop the lacking knowledge of Indian market. And so we had organized a conference lastly in September with Stanislas and our friends from Kantar, from ESSEC, and also from the leading schools. And after we are mostly focused on insights, but keeping in mind the cultural side of India, because India, we know that it's old civilization and which has kept his heritage. And without understanding that cultural factor, understanding the market would be really complicated. After we also bring together people, we do a lot of networking to bring different generation, different people from India, from France together. On the Indian side, we have some partnership with some states, mostly in Assam. We work in promoting craftsmanship like handloom, and in long term, we are expecting to organize some exhibitions by inviting people from India to France. Thanks a lot, Bettina. To you.
So we will start with the first person who will talk today. And I think it's Marta. So she will tell you something absolutely amazing about singularity. What we all thought it's the biggest challenge today. And so Marta, please, it's your turn.
Thank you very much, Bettina. Just checking, do you hear me well?
Fantastic.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Hello to everyone. I'm very, very happy to share this conference, this panel with such great professionals, Natalie and Stanislas. Thank you very much, Anish, for inviting me. It's always for me a great pleasure and a passion to transmit, to share with students, and that's one of the things I do the best is accompanying young students and professional in their career and in their professional happiness, let's say, and this is something we probably share with Stanislas. So yes, I wanted to stress on the point of singularity in luxury, because for me that's one of the biggest challenges that young, small brands are facing today, even bigger brands. So here are the few points I would like to discuss. But before I start, I would like to remind what for me are the key attributes for luxury brands. You're going to have many definitions, but here are the ones I take into consideration for this presentation. So there's, of course, the exclusivity, the rarity, the superior craftsmanship second, timeless appeal, very important, high perceived value, and also authentic storytelling. And I'm going to add a little personal note. What for me is luxury. It's more and more time with aging. You know, time is probably the biggest luxury we have, comfort and craftsmanship. And taking this last point, craftsmanship, into consideration, of course, I'm very admirative about the craftsmanship in India, even though I'm not an expert of the Indian market, but craftsmanship is something that really small and young brands should highlight. So the question and the context is the following. You know, you have so many brands, so many new brands come into the market, come into a very competitive market. So many voices that are amplified by social media, by e-commerce. You have brands appearing, you have brands disappearing. And the question is there a room for so many brands in such saturated sectors in the luxury industry? For small brands, how to exist in a world where conglomerates such as LVMH, such as Richemont, and other big groups, historic luxury houses, are so powerful. They're benefiting from economy of scale, for example. And in this competitive context, how to create your own niche, how to exist, and how to create value. Because in the end, if you come up with a luxury brand, you're here to stay, you're here to become iconic and to create value for your customers and for the market. And the answer, in my opinion, is to invest in your singularity, to create a very unique brand identity. So the first decision, and the most important one probably, will be to craft a very meaningful, high quality driven product or service. And don't forget, you know, in luxury, the luxury industry, we have services which are taking more and more importance nowadays. So don't think only about products. And here you have two choices. The first one is to come with your passion, to come with your know-how, to come with the craftsmanship that you have already, with traditions, skills, your dreams, and everything you want to share personally and to give to this world. And if you have the chance to have that passion, to have that tradition, to have that heritage, to have this passion to express, of course, your brand, your product, your service will be very well rooted, and you're going to be able to create a very strong DNA because it's going to connotate directly, emotionally with that passion and what you would like to express. Of course, we have another approach, which is more and more relevant nowadays on the market. That's the business approach. Okay, so you consider, you're following, you're studying with the marketing and business perspective, what are the current market trends when it comes to luxury branding, when it comes to luxury houses, consumptions, clients, new generations, etc. And then you decide to base your product, your brand on those trends, okay? So what kind of current trends we can consider? And I'm talking here from European perspective. What we have is everything that is linked to vintage in fashion, to secondhand. On the more luxury scale, everything that is linked to lifestyle, for example, you know, traditional luxury houses are going beyond their traditional boundaries of luxury. They're investing in pastries, in chocolate, for example. Another trend could be digital trends linked to NFT, to metaverse. Another recent trend that we have is the pink tea one. Probably you've heard about it. It's some brands without the specific logo being inspired by iconic luxury products and offering the same quality and the same attention to detail, but without having the big name and the big logo. What will be the pros when you use that second approach, so the business approach based on trends? Of course, you can align trends, align with recent trends to attract younger and new audiences. Okay, that helps maintain relevance, create the buzz, which usually brands could do with, for example, collaborations with street artists, with pop culture, or influencers. Another way to create buzz could be anything that is allowing you to embrace digital innovations. The risks on following trends and basing your brand on some latest trends could be the dilution of your brand identity. Okay, if those trends, for example, are in conflict with your core values. Here we can share an example, for example, from Indian brand Sabyasachi. When collaborating with H&M, of course, creating that mass market excitement could be perceived as a risk, but the way it has been done, it remains true to the brand's heritage, through all the design elements that were extremely recognizable. But I leave you to decide if that was a risk or not. I saw in my experience with some of our students who wanted to go into entrepreneurship in the luxury fashion business, many of them a few years ago, 5 to 10 years ago, they were going into t-shirt brands because the t-shirt were somehow re-enhanced. So they were going, for example, for luxury t-shirts, for luxury sneakers. That was another trend that was, of course, very popular. So they were basing their DNA on French-made sneakers or made in Europe with quality materials, slow life, etc. Many of those brands, they couldn't find their DNA. They couldn't find their singularity, and it was difficult to develop them. Another important element to take into consideration by developing your singularity nowadays for me is the second point on my slide. It's to introduce sustainability in a very early stage, if that's possible, okay? We can think here of examples. The example of Stella McCartney is probably the biggest example and the best example in this case. Very early, even before there was this sustainability consciousness, Stella McCartney based everything from scratch, all the DNA, all the brand positioning on sustainability, and of course it has been a very successful approach. We have Marine Serre for a French fashion brand as well. So embedding it from scratch into your entire strategy, into every touch point of the brand will allow you to distinguish from many superficial greenwashing practices that we have nowadays. So if I can give you already a first advice, that will be this one, to integrate sustainability very, very early. And then, of course, and that's what my colleagues also will explain later, the importance of aligning a 360-degree strategy, which is rooted in your DNA without compromises. That will allow you to build trust, to ensure long-term brand loyalty, and will maintain the brand singularity. Of course, being rooted in your DNA could be risky sometimes if the market shifts hardly, immensely, which of course in luxury it's not happening in that way. The core values of luxury are not changing every 6 months and every 2 years. So staying rooted in your DNA, it's always a good idea. So the tips to take into consideration here, it's the right balance, okay? The first one is to balance the trends with your DNA. So using your brand's DNA is the foundation of your strategy, and then selectively incorporate trends, but always which are aligned with your ethos, with your storytelling, with your roots. You can then, once your DNA is strong, once your brand identity is strong, you can incorporate modern cuts, for example, into traditional clothes, offering to your most trendy customers a mix of innovation and the heritage of your brand. For example, you can experiment with materials, with patterns, with technology that will enhance but not compromise your core identity. You should also, and that's hard nowadays, to balance exclusivity with the broader aspirational values. We can talk here about democratization of luxury, because even before, let's say 10, 20 years ago, the values, the products, the singularity of the brand was only revealed and disclosed to the most important clients, to the customers, to the media, to the press, to some important circle that were linked to the brand. Nowadays, of course, with social media, everybody could have a touch point. Everybody could aspire to be part of the brand. So how to balance that? So how to keep exclusivity, but then embrace inclusivity in your clients. That's another important point. Balance digital with elegance. You know, there's some fashion brands, luxury fashion brands, that still are not allowing e-commerce for their fashion collections. Why? Because they say that they cannot offer the same experience. They cannot tell the story about the product. They cannot make you feel, make you touch a dress or a tailor's suit, for example. So maintaining exclusivity in the digital space, it's really important point for if you want to stay longer on the market. Another important point here is the celebrity endorsement. Of course, it's good that you use celebrities, but never give up on your identity, on the brand identity. More your brand identity is strong, more you can afford to take some risks with celebrity endorsement. Over identification with the founder, it's something important as well that we can see with some new luxury brands, for example, 𝐤𝐤𝐭𝐞𝐞. We can see also in some chefs in Paris. So craftsmanship should always be there. Quality should always be there. You cannot base your brand only on the identification with the founder and his charisma. Another important point is to balance experience, because nowadays experience is something really prominent in luxury. We all aspire, we all expect an outstanding experience when it comes to the luxury buying and using luxury product and services. My advice is not only based on experience. Of course, experience is important to resonate emotionally with your target audience, but you always need to keep the quality and the craftsmanship staying the focus, being the focus of your product. I wanted to give you here an example to reflect. That's the example of the Italian brand Loro Piana. So Loro Piana has first been a wool fabric company. So they're producing, let's say, the most quality raw materials when it comes to wool, and they shifted to a brand very strong, rooted in their heritage. And they have been acquired in 2013 by LVMH group, but they still kept those roots. They kept this very minimalistic design, very sophisticated, natural approach. And they don't need to innovate an experience. They don't need to really reinvent their collection. Of course, they have a very strong branding, very strong marketing strategies, but they kept using this DNA quite successfully. If you can go to my next slide, please. Here are some recent examples that I would like you to meditate on, of course, with a critical mindset. Okay, so they're mainly European examples. You have here, for example, the project of the PDF, Italian brand, based more, let's say, on a trend. So that's an example where you can follow in the next months how this will proceed. Italian brand, streetwear brand, with a very strong identity for the moment, but I'm really curious and I invite you to follow what will be the next moves and the next strategies. On the other hand, you have Gabrielle Hearst, that of course probably you already know, moving more into the sustainability strategy. So few examples just to see how this singularity, what kind of singularity those brand found, what kind of strategies they put in order to come up on the market, to raise awareness, to raise visibility from customers and from the press, because in fashion luxury that's really important. And also Kevin Germanier and Libero are interesting example that that you can follow. And because I talk about singularity, but in singularity, one of the most important point is, of course, to engage with your audience with a storytelling that translates your singularity and into emotions. I will pass it to Natalie with a focus on storytelling.
Hello.
Bettina, thank you.
Thank you, Marta.
I would like to just to say 2 words. So please do not hesitate to put your questions in the Q&R part of the presentations, and we will answer you at the end of all the presentations. So if you have a question to Anish or to Marta or to Natalie, please feel to put that into the Q&R. Natalie, it's your turn.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be with you today from Paris. In fact, I wanted to raise the point that, as Marta said, can we jump to the slide, please? As Marta said, in fact, luxury brand is definitely about exclusivity, meaning limited availability to create a sense of rarity and also desirability. So it's key in your strategy to have this kind of exclusivity. I would also insist, this is a point that Marta did not talk about, on the fact that in exclusivity, you should think of iconic products, meaning that you have to develop products that you will be recognized for. It could be a shape, it could be a fabric, it could be even in cosmetic and jewelry. You need to have a very specific creativity on iconic product. Of course, this exclusivity will be always and can also include some limited edition link with your strong creativity, but the exclusivity will be key. As Marta said, of course, the luxury brand is all about high quality craftsmanship. So meticulous attention to details, very durable material, also way to create the product in a different way with traditional technique, sometimes linked with innovative fabric or innovative ingredients. We can talk about cosmetic too. We can talk about price also. A luxury brand is also a premium prices, because these high prices will reflect the brand status and exclusivity, and the customer are willing to pay more for this perceived value and prestige. So the high pricing will accompany the global strategy, of course. In the luxury brand, of course, you will have to think about your distribution. As Marta said, sometimes it's difficult to express on e-commerce all the elements of your brand and all the service and the high quality service that you want to provide. But in any case, the store will be key, because it's the way to create a location, a place that reflects the brand attributes. So it means that all this attention to details that you will make for the creation of the product have to be transferred to the distribution, to the store, in all the little details. Everything have the importance in the store to contribute to have this atmosphere and continue to express the storytelling of your brand. I want to insist on one thing, and it was also the case of Marta, which is that on top of all these things, you need to have a strong brand identity. It's true. But it has to be based on a true story, because authenticity is key. Authenticity will be the perception of the customer. And if they think that everything is fake, created, not authentic, you go nowhere, for sure. And this is this authenticity that will be the base of your storytelling, that will create this emotional appeal and the reason to believe of your brand. It's not easy, because there is so many brands that it's not easy to find your own place, and but you have to think and to ask you this question, which is, what do I bring to the village of the brands? You see, how the world will be different if I do not exist, if my brand do not exist. So this is very important question to ask, to create what I name the personality of the brand identity. If you go to next page, my recommendation will be to work on a brand platform. It seems to be complicated. It's not, but it has to be very clear. The brand platform is a kind of combination of the DNA of your brand. In fact, the values of your brand, usually there is mainly 4 to 5 values. The values of your brand determine your identity. It's the same with a person. You see, as a person, you have different values, different specificities. And the mix of these values, of this DNA element, create your own personality. So I deeply recommend to ask this question: how am I different? What do I stand for? What are the key elements of my personality that I want to show and I want to express? And as I told you, the combination of these values will be what makes you different. In your brand platform, you will also have the manifesto. The manifesto is definitely the promise that you make to the customer. It can be the promise of products. It can be the promise of service. For example, I had the chance to work for the Ritz, and the Ritz, you have a very high promise, because we want to be the best place of the world in Paris. So it's interesting, because you have to formulate this promise that you will make to the customer. And in this brand platform, you will also have your vision, meaning your brand ambition. How will I exist in 5 years, 10 years? But what do I want to stand for? It's important that you share this platform, your singularity, and that this point is totally clear for everyone, not only for the client, but you have to start by your team. because your team will be the link between you and your client at the end. So first of all, this global vision must be totally consistent. So my key words is consistency, consistency, consistency. I insist, because sometimes when we work in a brand, sometimes we're a little fed up because we think that we want to be something else. No, it's really important to be the same for the client, because the client have so many touch points with other brands that when they are on your road, they have to recognize you. So the consistencies in all the touch points of the client must be totally coherent and express, of course, your brand platform, your values. For example, in Clarins, because I had the chance to work for Clarins, and the challenge was to rejuvenate the brand. It's starting to be a little old-fashioned. And it was interesting because in the brand platform, we had one specific point, which was the benevolence. You see, en français, we say bienveillance. So Clarins is a benevolent brand. So it means that if in your DNA you have this value, you do not have the same way to talk to the customer when you are benevolent, you see? When you express, I don't know, create a leaflet, create a communication, even create a product, express the product, this value gives something very strong in the way you communicate. And this value have to be consistent in every touch point of the customer. So again, consistency is really key, even if sometimes you are a little fed up and you want to change something. And I want also to insist on the fact that when you have this vision, when you have the singularity, when you understand why you stand up in the morning and why you create your brand, I think it's really important to have your team on board. The team is key. You will never do anything without the people. It's important. It's really important. And I would say that you have to know how to express your brand in a very easy way. So all the people, from the person opening the door of your store to the person that are, I don't know, in the marketing direction and so on, everyone have to understand where we go, where you go with your brand, who you are, who is your brand, so what is the singularity of the brand. And so if they understand this, they can understand how at every level of your organization, they can bring value to the proposition, and they can be key as architect of the creation of the brand. So my words on this is repetition, repeat, 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 meaning that you have to have people on board. So you have to, each meeting you have, each, I don't know, explanation or webinar you have with your team, you always have to be very clear in what you are doing, in what are your singularity, and how each person can contribute to the global project. So I think that don't be selfish, share with the client in a consistent way, but also share with all the teams so they can be on board and they can build the brand with you. So it's a long ride, for sure. It's a very long ride, but at the end, you will have the success, I'm sure.
Thank you very much, Natalie, for this excellent presentation. So to all of our people who are looking the webinar, so what was the key takeaway? The key takeaway from all this these presentations? Please, if you have something, if you want to share something with us, put it in the Q&A section, and we will answer you after the presentation of Stanislas. So Stanislas de Quercize, it's your turn.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's fabulous, you know, this, because this is an example of sharing. It's vital to share because, you know, all of us, we are alive because we have been shared our life by 1 billion humans. 1 billion humans. We have 1 billion ancestors. But it's important to share also how to work, how to live, how to love, and the solutions. And thank you very much because you've got great. You're living your inspired initials anything AS. Actions superb. Admirable solutions. Natalie Bader, newness, beautiful. Mushi Giandi, MG, marvelous, joy. Bettina Frosch, BF, beautiful, fabulous. Marta Marcheva, marvelous, magnificent. Luxury is fabulous because luxury is fabulous in design, in manufacture, selling, communication, after-sale service, and pre-love. And I love it. And we need to improve all the time. I love the definition of luxury of Jean-Louis Dumas, the president of Hermes, who said, definition of luxury is what you repair, what you restore. And I believe that luxury is what you transmit, because luxury is the best way to express your love, your friendship, your fraternity. And love, friendship, fraternity, you can repair and you can transmit it. And I love also the definition of Bernard Arnault, the president of LVMH, who said, we need to improve the desirability of our brand every year, every month, every day, every week. And to improve the desirability, we need to improve the what we're doing, how we're doing it, and where we're doing it. What? We were all designer. After that, designer, manufacturer. Designer, manufacturer, wholesaler. Designer, manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer. Designer, manufacturer, wholesale, retail, e-commerce. And now designer, manufacturer, wholesale, retail, e-commerce, re-commerce. I was president of Montblanc France when we moved from wholesale to retail. I love it. Opened the first boutique in Europe in the Rue du Faubourg Saint-Honoré. And when I'm president of America, opened the first boutique in Madison Avenue. And we moved from being the king of pen into watches, eyewear, fragrance, leather. When I was president of Cartier in America, I moved from retail to e-commerce. Very important because in jewelry, 80% is sold in retail. In watches, 80% is sold in wholesale. But in jewelry, at one point of time, it was 70% unbranded, 30% branded, because you don't have boutiques everywhere in the world. And I would love it when I open this e-commerce for Cartier. Every morning when I come back to the office, there was sales during the night in cities where there was no boutique. And when I was also about the pre-loved, when I was president of Cartier in America, I want to see Tourneau, the #1 wholesaler of watches. I said, what are your bestsellers? He told me, Rolex, pre-owned, Cartier. And asked 3 times the question, saying Rolex and Cartier, I know, but pre-owned, I don't know. I don't know pre-owned. I don't know pre-owned. I understand it's pre-loved. And pre-loved, like the real estate, your office, your apartment, your house, your vineyard, your garden is pre-loved. You have been pre-loved by your parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, companion, husband, wife, children. And but also pre-loved is universal, eternal, but it's also for brands, because look at the car industries. 100% of the cars, Rolls-Royce, Porsche, Ferrari, Tesla, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Fiat, Volkswagen, Peugeot, Audi, these sell to you, a repair will buy back. And when president of Van Cleef Arpels, I started to buy back the high-end jewelry. We were restoring if need be. We were selling, authentifying and selling it back. It was win-win-win-win. Win for the seller, I've got one daughter. I've got one necklace. I've got two daughters. Win for the workshop. Look at that, a beautiful jewelry of 100 years ago. What we need to create need to be great in 100 years from now. Win for the buyer. Authentified, decarbonated. Win for the brand because you're building the loyalty of clients. What you buy today, you can sell in 6 years, 60 years. And win for the brand, for the humanity, and for the planet. When I've made the interview of Richard Mille, the president of Richard Mille, who was the pioneer of making pre-loved for watches. I said, how did you get this idea? He said, because I love the cars. I've bought 20 cars that are so beautiful, historical cars. I've loaned them to 24 Heures du Mans for exhibition. I love the real estate. I've bought 2 castles. And I said it's possible for real estate and for the cars. It should be possible for my Richard Mille. He said, I'm very happy to do it. The seller is happy because he sells it more expensively than when he bought it. The buyer is very happy. It's authentified, decarbonated. And it's good for the brand. It's building loyalty for us. And I've made the interview of Charlotte Ray. She's a very great talent of Cartier, and she created a startup called Christofle, who helps to buy and sell pre-loved jewelry. It's very important because Marie Kondo, the Japanese, said the art of sorting out. If you want to be happy in life, empty your attic, your basement, your drawer, your safe. But you got 80% of fashion in cupboard, 92% of jewelry and watches in drawers and safes. So, and I've made the interview of Émeric Deschamps, the creator of a startup firm who is helping to sell and buy pre-loved fashion. And I've made the interview of Fabienne Lupo. She was the president of Watch and Wonders, the worldwide event of watches in Geneva every year, and the president of the Fédération of Haute Horlogerie. And she created Reluxury, a startup which is doing events where you go into event. In this event, you can buy and sell pre-loved fashion, pre-loved jewelry, pre-loved watches. She created an event of 4,000 people 2 years ago in Geneva, and last month in Paris with Bards International. They've created an event with 10,000 people in 3 days, and 100 speakers in 3 days. So it's fabulous. And my next interview will be Maxime de la Vallée, who created the startup Crescent, who helps you to sell and buy pre-loved fashion. And together we've created the Federation of Circular Fashion. We have 270 members sharing solutions to save the planet. So I think it's very important. So this is the what. Designer, manufacturer, wholesale, retail, e-commerce. And after the interview I've made of Richard Mille, I've made this interview in the magazine of Bards International with 300,000 speakers. Rolex said, oh, I'm going to do it with Bucherer. And Cartier said, I'm going to do it with Watchfinder. What is very important is we never had so much entrepreneurial spirit, never had so much tech, never had so much startup. But for the first time, David and Goliath working together. David, the startup, is working with Goliath, the big group. For example, Bucherer, the startup, works with Rolex. Watchfinder works with Cartier and Richemont. And the startups I've mentioned, Castafiore, 58 Facets, Foam, Crescent, Reluxury can work with all the brands. And if you want, I can put you in contact with all of them. You can contact me through LinkedIn or through my Instagram account called Chemin des Étoiles du Monde, and I can help you to find solutions. And so this is the what to improve. After that, the how. The how we were Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, artificial intelligence, and now economy circular. It's fabulous to improve. Artificial intelligence is incredible. You know what? It's not 10 times more than our brain. It's not 100 times more than, not 1,000 times, 10,000 times, 100,000 times. No, it's 1 million times more powerful than our brain. So it's fabulous. I don't know if you know Stéphane Gallieni. It's a fabulous, he wrote a book about Web3, but he wrote a book also about the artificial intelligence, and I helped him because I wrote the opening of the book with solutions. But each of us, and you know that Cleef Arpels is using the artificial intelligence to help the loyalty of clients. And the circular economy is vital because more and more of your clients are saying, what are you doing to save the planet and the humanity? Your employees, what are you doing to save the planet and humanity? Your shareholders, what are you doing to save the planet and humanity? Your government, what are you doing to save the planet and humanity? Your journalists, what are you doing to save the planet and humanity? And children, what are you doing to save the planet and humanity? It's very important to find solutions. I've created the chair of circular economy at l'ESSEC, helping Paris School of Luxury with the Master Green to find solutions. And as I've mentioned to you, we have created the Federation of Circular Fashion, and we are working to create the Federation of Circular Jewelry and Circular Watches. And with Marta, we are going to work on a book of luxury and circular economy. And I think it's vital to find solutions. It's vital. It's absolutely vital to find solutions. And there's, I don't know if you know the startup Circular, which has been created by Raphaël Mavigné. He's got 2,500 solutions to help the impact on the environment. He's working with LVMH, with Richemont, with MESSIKA, with Louboutin, with 40% of the company. So that's what, how, and where we all started. Most of us, we started in France or in Europe. After that, we developed in Europe, in USA, America, Middle East, and now obviously we love Asia with Japan, China, and now India is fabulous because in 2000 China was 1% of the luxury. Now is between 30 and 45%, and India is now the #1 country in the world, the #1 population. It's absolutely fabulous. And what we need to do is we need to improve all the time. Each of us, we need to improve all the time. What I've loved when I was president of Cartier and Montblanc and Van Cleef Arpels, instead of doing one evaluation a year, I've said it's better to do 2 evaluations a year to improve each other. Second thing, instead of doing only the evaluation of what you're doing, let's do an evaluation of what and how, what you're doing and how you're doing. And to improve again, let's do something. We are going to do a 360 evaluation. I evaluate you, but you're going to evaluate me, because it's vital to have win-win-win-win-win. Win for the woman, win for the man, win for the junior, win for the senior, win for the clients, win for the employees, win for the shareholders, win for the leader, win for the supplier, win for the distributors, win for the planet, and win for the humanity. And what is very important is to work, what you've done this morning is co-conquest. It's not competition, it's co-conquest. I was board member of Comité Colbert during 10 years, and Comité Colbert is 95% of the luxury house. And the idea is co-conquest, no competition, co-conquest. And the development of India is fabulous. And if you're doing a fabulous event helping to develop that, it's fabulous. And Bénédicte Épinay, the president of Comité Colbert, she did also an event, and I think it's fabulous. It's also winning, helping each other, it's fabulous.
Thank you very much for your great presentation. So there are a few questions. I will start with the question of Kanishka. So while building a luxury brand with a celebrity, what are the key aspects of brand building to keep in mind? And what are the do's and don'ts? Who wants to answer to Kanishka?
I can start. What is important is to express what are your values, what is your mission, and what is your vision. Your values is very important to explain the values and your mission, what are you doing, and vision in 1, 3, 5, 10 years. And I think, Winston Churchill from England said, the branches of the tree cannot go further than the roots. So it's important to discuss about your roots. In luxury, we always said, since expressing the date of birth and where we've been created. And then when I was president of Cartier Van Cleef, I love to create exhibition in museums of our origins. It's very important because we were showing jewelry and watches next to Picasso, Van Gogh, Leonardo da Vinci. So it's art, but it's very important to show what we've been doing in 10 years, 100 years, because some brands like Louis Vuitton is 200 years, Cartier 184 years, MESSIKA 20 years this year. So it's very important to discuss about your origin, and we've created exhibition in Petit Palais, Grand Palais, Forbidden City, Kremlin, British Museum, Metropolitan Museum. So I think it's very important to discuss that and also to Yes.
If I may, the question was not regarding the DNA, it was regarding the celebrities. So Marta, would you like to answer this question?
Yes, but I think Stanislas gave a very good insight as introduction to the answer. The first answer, of course, is very basic. It depends on the budget. I mean, it depends on the budget that you have. The budget will be, of course, important consideration and will eliminate maybe a lot of choices. The second thing, and to point on what Natalie said, is consistency. I think consistency will be the key. You should find somebody who really is aligned with your DNA, with the values you would like to share. And I hope you got it. We talk about values a lot with Natalie and Stanislas. It's something that it is really important. So from my point of view, as soon as you have your DNA, your singularity, your consistency, then it's quite obvious the personality that will be able to highlight your values. Of course, nowadays, when you look for a celebrity, the number of followers on Instagram, TikTok, etc., it is a criteria. But again, because we're here to talk about singularity, maybe try to be different, try to find a new personality, try to find a new maybe small rising celebrity, and probably gonna rise together. If you're a small brand and the celebrity is not the most popular and it's not already hired by LVMH, you're gonna rise together, and it's gonna be a real added value for your brand. I would be happy to answer on a more personalized way, 𝐤𝐬𝐭𝐞𝐞, if you want to send me a little bit more details through LinkedIn. I could give you some personalized tips.
Right. And I insist on the fact that that this, I would say, celebrity should be authentic. I mean, meaning that she had the same value of your brand. And I think that also the best partnership is when there is a real work together, meaning a contribution of this celebrity, maybe to the creation, maybe to so it's much more efficient if there is a authenticity in the creation, authenticity in the values, and the contribution of this celebrity to the creation or to the global strategy of the brand.
And just maybe to add something, it depends on what your target audience is. Of course, if you want to target a more mass audience, if you would like to raise awareness, gain visibility, then you need a strong celebrity, and according to your budget, that could be helpful in the beginning, just to gain awareness. But what big luxury houses do is that, for example, for perfume, they're going to have an international star, because perfume is something that is transversal, it's universal, and it's speak to everyone. And of course, perfume for a luxury house is the entry product. It's a pure product so that you can enter in the universe of the brand. But if you follow the celebrities that big luxury houses they have for more branding purposes, for more to express their values, they may go, for example, from a very big international actress to a ballet dancer or to a book writer, again, to emphasize more eclectic values. So there's no wrong or right answer. The only one is consistency, singularity, and being linked to your DNA, and be able to add value, the win-win that Stanislas mentioned to your brand.
So there are much more questions. There's one question to Natalie. What are the key considerations when acquiring a cultural brand to successfully integrate the acquired brand's culture while preserving my own brand's identity?
Can you, where is the question? Sorry.
I put you the question in the chat so that you could see it.
Thank you. Thanks.
Ah, no, it's not the right one. Just a second.
Thank you. Sorry.
Maybe I can, because I saw the question, I can give just a little layer of answer, going back to my example from Loro Piana. You know, more, again, we're going to insist, but more your singularity is strong, more your brand is strong, more you have bargaining power to negotiate with the big company that will acquire you. And what Antoine Arnaud said when they bought Loro Piana, they said, we were captivated by the classic style of Loro Piana, you know? So it was an evidence for LVMH that Loro Piana will enhance their portfolio and enhance their DNA. So it's difficult, and at Sup de Luxe, I work with many big houses, but I work with small independent houses, and I beg them, please don't sell, you know, please keep staying independent. And I know it's difficult, but again, in order to keep some bargaining power when you sell to a company, you need to prepare first a very strong brand singularity. And
Yes.
I leave it to you, Natalie.
Yes, yes, and I would add something, which is that if there is some partnership, collaboration, for example, in Clarins, we had the opportunity to buy new entities which were doing complementary products compared to the expertise of the main brand. So it's interesting to join if you have, this new acquisition was based on the makeup category, which is not the expertise of Clarins, because you understand that Clarins is skincare, mainly the skin. So I would say that collaboration with this brand or joint venture and so on, it's much efficient first if you have two different categories of product or different targets. It's interesting because it can be a new target for your company. It can be the acquisition of a brand that talk to, I don't know, teenager, for example. So it's interesting to think of clientele, type of clientele, if it's add something, if it would add something to you, and the category of product, of product. And also, the most ideal is to have the same values in terms of personality of company. So it's much more ideal to have to share the same values to succeed, actually.
Thank you very much. We have another question to Stanislas, which is passing on a legacy has always been a core value of the art of crafting beautiful things. Do you think circularity in the luxury sector is no more a trend, but an obligation?
Well, it's vital. It's vital because, you know, it took us thousands of years to understand the earth is circle. Thousands of years to understand the economy is circular. Thousands of years to understand that men and women, we are equal. So it's vital. It's vital because we have the risk to have 25% of the population under the winter by the change of climate. So in the circular economy is fabulous. It's great solutions. And I was mentioning the startups, circular with 2,500 solutions. I love the Federation of Circular Fashion sharing between the members of the solutions. It's very important to share solutions because, there's another startup called Revalorem, which is created by Eric Lejean. You know, you cannot destroy the unsold. You cannot burn it. And now it's dismantling the unsold and giving you 80% of the raw material to help you to reproduce new product. So I think it's fabulous. Yes, it's compulsory because now you got new laws. In Europe, there's a new law, CSRD, Corporate Sustainability Reading Drive, so where every year not only you declare what you're making in sales and profit, you need also to declare what is the impact on the environment, on what you're doing for the water, for the carbon. So So I think it's very important. And now on top of it, not only the government is asking you, but also all the clients are asking you. So we need to make improvement, and it's fabulous because we can share that during all the brands, all the countries. And this is what I was mentioning earlier, the co-conquest, and this is what also Comité Colbert is doing, sharing solutions and saying, let's we live on the same earth. Because what is amazing, Bettina, each of you, you're president, CEO, marketing director, DRH, commercial director for luxury brand. Because each of you, you're a luxury brand. Because you're unique in the world. We are 108 billion human, 100 billion in the sky, 8 billion on Earth, but you're unique. Each of you, you're unique, so you're a treasure. So you need also to improve yourself all the time, to improve your 4 assets, your body, your heart, your soul, your spirit, to improve all the time. And to say more than yesterday, less than tomorrow. It's always, because there's no limit on Earth. The sky is the limit. There's no limit. You can improve all the time. But for that, it's fraternity. That's what I love, the fraternity, to help each other, because if you're unique, we live in the same earth. And what is important also, the alumni. What I love in Sup de Luxe, you got, I think, 4,000 alumni. So I think it's important because you can share solution. An alumni is a perpetual ambassador, is a mentor, is a source of solutions. So it's good to help each other.
So there is another question. Thank you so much, Stanislas. There is another question for Marta. Having personally visited the Sabasaki store in New York, I understand their positioning as a luxury brand. Their collaboration with H&M raised concerns for many due to the perceived discrepancy in brand ethos. It was not something that they stayed in their DNA. What are your thoughts on this brand taking such a move?
Thank you for that question. I think it's a personal question. I think everyone could, with its own background and experience, judge and have an opinion. When first Karl Lagerfeld have done the very first co-branding with H&M, it was a scandal. It was disruptive. And we loved it because it was disruptive and because it was Karl Lagerfeld, and he can assume that, he can do, it's Karl Lagerfeld, he can do whatever he wants, right? We don't judge. Personally, I have some doubts about those kind of collaborations, but in the meantime, H&M shift in their positioning, and I can understand that sometimes taking some risks could be a business strategy. Rising awareness for a brand that is very local and very India-centered for a big market could be an interesting move. And of course, he gained visibility, the brand gained visibility and awareness. And from that perspective, it was an interesting move. What I consider is the DNA of the brand is nowadays strong enough to can support few risks, okay? And innovation is not easy, being innovative, going into digital. And I don't know if I prefer conservative brands, which are never taking a risk and protect their DNA, or brands who have a strong DNA and sometimes they take some risks. They go a little further from their strategy. They try some techniques. So I don't have a very precise answer. I apologize for that. But I would probably, if I was the brand, and depending on economic and business situation, I would probably try something similar.
Thank you very much for your question. So we have 3 questions. So we will try to answer all that questions before we will finish the webinar today. So the first question is really, I think, a huge challenge in terms of AI. So AI-generated content or experience can sometimes feel inauthentic or impersonal. Luxury often emphasizes human craftsmanship, bespoke experiences, and personalized service. Reliance on AI could diminish the human element, which is crucial for building strong customer relationships. What are your views in dealing with this complexity? Who of you three would like to answer this this really nice question?
I can.
Okay, Anish.
Anish, want to talk?
Yeah. Thanks a lot for this question. Like, from my background, like most of the people from India, I'm from IT sector. So I worked around 10 years in IT sector. I was really ahead on time on technology. And then so what we see is that AI as of today, like with the coming of ChatGPT, we are living a trend of generative AI. So what AI actually is doing is helping people to create content. Maybe it can be video, audio, text. So I think if we always like it's like an assistant. You have to have your idea. You can get help from AI, but you have to give your heart and you have to give a personal side of your storytelling, and you can get help from your assistant. But it's from my side. If anybody else would like to continue.
Just a quick, very quick from my side. I'm fine with artificial intelligence as soon as we talk about execution. When we talk about creativity, when we talk about aesthetics, I still prefer the human touch.
And I would add, Marta, that the good news is that in certain things, I think it will be very difficult to figure out by the AR services. For example, I would say the direct contact with the clients, the human touch, so it won't. And the second the good news, I would say, is that AR will become more and more true in the territories of expertise, like for example, image creation or things like that. So the good news is that there is territory where AR cannot come, for sure, and AR will, of course, evolve in the future. But I agree totally with Anish to say that in any case, AR have to be dictated or I would say managed by some very important and human minds. So this is the good news for the future.
What is fabulous is AI is really the booster for our brain, as I was mentioning earlier, 1 million times bigger than our brain. So it's a booster. I don't know if you know Luxury Insight, which is a fabulous startup, the worldwide leading of data for the luxury, and he is working thanks to the artificial intelligence. He's got data, so he can help you all the leaders in the industry, luxury industry, to make decisions. When you have your car, your bike, your plane, your boat, you need to have a GPS to know where to go. But here with artificial intelligence, is working with most of the brands. Is helping you to make the decision about what is a good price, what is a good product, what is a new communication, what is a new boutique, and everything. So artificial intelligence, as I was mentioning earlier, Van Cleef & Arpels is using it to build the loyalty. So whatever you do, it's helping boosting your brands. It's fabulous.
Thank you. So there are two more questions. So the first question is, what kind of training does a salesperson of a luxury brand need to increase the sales?
I think that question, I think it's for me. I would say everyday training. The process of selling, specifically fashion, it's a very complex process. So we can start from some personal skills that are really important and that should be maintained and developed. What is important, it's all the clienteling reception. How do you receive clients? How do you welcome clients? So a lot of psychology is needed to really understand and develop that process, what we call the customer service etiquette. Okay, so from the very first smile until the very last moment of you holding the door, and all the follow-up with the CRM, taking care of yourself as a salesperson, taking care of your clients, building authentic relationship, welcoming customers with a very positive posture of openness, listening, etc. When it comes to fashion, all the fashion universe, so trend forecasting, fashion styling, fashion accessories, principles of branding, storytelling in fashion, being able to transmit the brand's vision through its product. So a lot of training, a lot of management. And from the management point of view, it's important that managers define what kind of approach do they want to have in addition to the personality and all the personal skills. What we have in retail would be product-based approach. That was for a long time the retail approach of Chanel. So being very, very aware of what the product is, the strengths of the product, the characteristics of the products, the design of the products, etc. For some new brands, we can have a brand approach, brand-centric approach, so more salespersons who are more trained about the universe, about the experience, etc., etc. So I would say a lot of training, almost everyday training, and a lot of management, so that the strategy is really aligned with the everyday needs of the business.
Can I add something, which is that I think that on the recruitment, the training is key, of course, but the recruitment is also key. And I would suggest two things. The first is that in the selection of personality, if you can find people that have empathy for the others, I mean, they want to help, want to give the pleasure to the other person. So empathy is key, because you have some salesperson that do not want to have interaction with the other, which is really bad. And the second thing, my second suggestion was that maybe in the recruitment, sometimes it's interesting to look at the person in hospitality. And in hospitality and luxurious hospitality or hotels, because this is exactly what they learn in the hospitality, to be at the service of the client, to listen to them, to understand their need without talking. So it's interesting, because in your recruitment, you can think of it and think out of the box, and I think it can be interesting.
It's vital to improve always, every, you know, when I worked at Procter & Gamble during 9 years, I love it when they say, new year, new you, new quarter, new you, new months, new you, new week, new you, new day, new you. So we need to improve every day. For that, I think it's vital to do the questions. So every year when I was president of Cartier Van Cleef, we ask clients, what do you think of us? Is it improving? Yes or no? We ask same question to the employees. Do you think we are making progress? Yes or no? We made the same question to the shareholders, to the supplier, to the distributor. The idea is that we need to improve all the time. And second thing to improve is I've made the discussion with the COMEX saying, what are your dreams, your hope? And we need to discuss our dreams and to check after that what we have created this year compared to the dreams we had. And also we need to do training all the time. If we were doing the Olympic Games, you have coach during all your life to improve the time. It's important to have coach all our life to improve. I don't know if you know Frederic Schreve. He's a fabulous talent of Cartier and at Fred O'Neill, and he created a startup called Octave, and he's doing training all over the world for the retail in luxury. And also what is fabulous, he's created a university in luxury houses, in university where he's helping them to grow all the time. He's got a university with L'Oréal and a university with Ferrari. So it's been 20 years, he's helping Ferrari to improve all the time. So I think it's really fabulous.
So we are coming to our last question. In a world of increasing inclusivity and democratization of luxury through digital platforms, is the idea of exclusivity still relevant? If yes, how can brands redefine exclusivity for the modern consumer? So who want to go ahead?
What is very important is desirability. We need to improve the desirability. And what we're doing a brand, usually we've got a pyramid of prices, something very accessible, something very expensive. So because the expensive make you dreams. And also sometimes you have unique creations made to measure, sometimes unique, one high luxury, only one, sometimes limited edition, sometimes long-time edition. So you need to have to say, if you want something unique, you will have something unique. If you have something bestseller, so it's great. And also to have events. You know what I love is when we were doing wholesale retail. After one point of time, I said we need to create events. So I've organized, when I was president of Cleef Arpels, we were inviting the 80 top clients to see for the first time the new high jewelry collection. So I said, your new emotion. Second new emotion, I was inviting you with 80 other clients so you can make new friends. And third in emotions, I'm going to invite you in locations you don't know. So we made an invitation at the Buckingham Palace, from the Queen of England. So it was fabulous. All the clients said, oh, thank you very much. I've never seen the Buckingham Palace. We'll have a dinner, we'll have a concert. That's great. So what we need to do is something like that.
Can I add also something, which is that, sorry to say, but sometimes you cannot please everyone. Even if you are inclusive, you cannot. And if you have a strong personality, personally, there is brand that I like and I love, and there's brand that do not touch me. So I think it's really important to think that you cannot please to everyone, even if you are inclusive. So don't be shy on that, and you have to dare, and even if what you do not please everyone. Sorry to.
Thank you very much. So we are coming to the end of this great presentation. So we got from Emmanuel Tisser a great idea to organize absolutely other webinars, for example, about transmission or something like that. So we will keep that in mind, Emmanuel. Thank you so much for sharing this. And I thank you all, to Natalie, to Marta, to Stanislas. And I will give the word to Anish, that he will finish, and he will also let you know what's happened next.
Thanks a lot, Marta. Thanks a lot, Stanislas, Natalie, and also from India, Abhay Gupta of Luxury Connect Business School. Thanks a lot. So we know that it was great to have such great panelists who has more than 25 years of experience as executive. So we are really happy that we could give a lot of ideas to entrepreneurs and designers, students in India and in France. And we know that 1 hour and a half, it's not long enough. If you have some questions, maybe you can send us by mail. If possible, we'll forward it to the panelists, to Marta, to Stanislas, to Natalie. And so also, seeing the quality of the quality of outcome of this webinar, will be soon coming up with something which would help again France and India building a great relationship and developing this market of craftsmanship on India and the luxury sector from France. So thanks a lot, and to you, Bettina.
Thank you.
I would like to thank you, Mogni. Thank you so much for helping us, and see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Webinar, wonderful, winning, wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for helping us.
Grazie mille.
Prego.
Bravo, bravissimo. Congratulations, félicitations.